What's up, guys? I'm gonna be going over Intel. Just gonna redraw this. We're getting to a really good support right here. So I just found it to be interesting that Intel itself is gonna be hitting 100. So I have a limit order in for Intel. Um, it's an options play, but I need it to drop a little bit more. So it needs to come down like to 101. Because if we can get here, we have some common areas for this to get up to. So just to draw this for you guys again. Another interesting thing is look how many times we've been in the same situation with Intel before it breaks out. It broke out here. It broke out over here. It broke out over here. See? Does the same thing over and over and over again. So as soon as it hits this, I'm going to be patient. Look when earnings is. It's literally, I think, next week. Next Thursday. So buying maybe an August call. They're a little expensive, but I think it'll be worth it. If we look at TraderDaddy Pro, we could look at the levels of Intel also, the institutional levels, and you could have the best lines in the world, but you need to have the institutional levels where the market makers and where the dealers have their pricing. So these are GEX levels, and you could see, oh, look at that. The purple line, which is basically the most important line, is right at 100. So it's a very good chance of Intel hitting this 100 mark and then swinging back up again because all of the open interest for Intel is above it. So, and if you go down to these bars, you're going to see, oh, look, there's 100 again. Huge red bar. So, that's something to consider. Let's take a look at the unusual activity today while we're here. Just want to see the biggest ones so far. SPY had a $27 million put. Nibius also 24 million. Bloom Energy actually is getting a lot of big money today. So it's a really good day to get Bloom Energy at this level. I'll show you that chart next. Tesla's getting a lot of trades today. Throughout the community, most people are watching NVIDIA, Palantir, Intel, AMD, AGI. So those are the ones that the community is looking at the most. The largest trade today was that SPY one. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me move it over a little bit over here for you guys. So this is basically what I'm looking at over here. And we just had AMD also come in. You just see time-wise. Just want to see the biggest ones from today. ALAB was the most unusual. Amazon got 11 million today. Wow, that's pretty big for this Friday. That's kind of crazy. Let's look at Amazon and then let's look at Bloom Energy. So, but Intel is still my number one for today. If we can get down, that'll be great. Yeah, Amazon got a huge amount of unusual volume. You can see this line is very common for Amazon. This whole area is super common for Amazon. This whole level. So we go a little bit higher than that. We could start to track all-time highs again. We're keeping above this 20 moving average on the daily, so that's pretty good. If you guys have other stocks you want me to look at, you can also just put it in the chat and I'll take a quick look at it. But Bloom Energy also had a huge amount of green buying coming in. And you can see right here, we're basically at the most bottom of supports for it. So right around here is where we are. I've been tracking this for a little while. It's hard to get into this stock because it just constantly goes higher. This is really where we are right now. But it was just at 350. We're back at 230 something. So it's a huge percentage drop off for Bloom Energy. Um, Tomorrow we do have some inflationary news coming out. If Bloom Energy gets down to 212, I'll probably take a stab at it. At this point, you could just be patient and just wait for your favorite stocks. I did want to show you something for Nvidia real quick before I start getting to your stocks. I just want to take this off for a second. Look at Nvidia with me real quick. Okay? This is Nvidia, right? We're going to do a lot. This is a line here. Okay? This is a channel of sorts, right? Then we have another one down here for Nvidia. Okay? See what I mean? And I could keep going back and I can keep doing this. It's the same thing over and over again, but this just keeps doing the same breakouts. But what's interesting here is that if you look at the earnings for Nvidia, always before the next earnings, like 4 to 6 weeks before the next earnings, it starts to go back up again. It was true over here. We had this run up before earnings, and then after earnings, it goes down. It had earnings over here. Before that, it went from 170 to 200. Before that, it went from 165 to 210. So right now, this low right here was at 190. We're at 203. So if we come back down again, start to fill out this, this base right here, we could pop right back up again. So I'm just going to be patient with this. See? And then eventually we swing up before earnings. Something like that. All right, you guys want APLD? APLD is probably the best one to buy in terms of value right now. I mean, just let it keep dropping. Its mean revision is around 27, which is great. So this is my favorite stock to dollar cost average into. I mean, we're now down about 43%. The last 2 times, it's dropped 50%. So this drop over here is 50. This drop over here from 42 to 20 is 50%. And this one over here, recently, we were at 53, and we're probably going to get to about 25 or something pretty soon. Yeah, support's at 25. From there, it should be really easy to get back up into the low 40s or 50s. But the big news for today, of course, was going to be SK Hynix. They went down 15% today, I think. Oh wait, SKHYV. Yeah, the new memory stock. And so that caused, I think, Micron to also drop. Micron's back at 927. And so this is exactly what I said last time, was don't expect Micron to bounce back that easily, because again, this is a very clear head and shoulders. People want to pretend like these things don't matter. They do. Now eventually we're probably going to go up and down like this until we get squeezed out. But this shoulder around, 1080, it just wasn't going to happen for Micron, especially with another $1 trillion RAM company from South Korea joining as well. So that was a big reason. So there was, right now, if Micron can get back maybe to 880, it'd be worth taking a shot at. Because, I mean, we're right back to this major support. Let's take a look at Micron on, let's see, maybe on TraderDaddy Pro and see what we got here. So SpaceX just got another $1 million of unusual buying. I think that's at 140 right now, SpaceX. Um, Micron calls. Oh wow, it's just all bearish sentiment today. Look at that. Just crazy amounts of unusual. Wow. That's all today. Some of the bullish ones are pretty big, but the bearish flow is just it's just like all day. We had some bullish ones in the morning, but it just got all it pushed down all today. So um, you could just see it for yourself. You don't even have to guess of where it's going to go in the short term, obviously. So yeah, we had a 13 million or $13.5 million unusual put trade from the institutions on Micron, so that was pretty big. Let's see sector flow right now, top sectors. We could go over here. So we have energy, we have consumer staples. Energy is number one right now. And so I also did another trade. I just want to see if it's in there. But yeah, so they're all oil trades right now. And so I did one of these right here. I did this trade, Chevron, CVX. Another, Chevron got some unusual bullish activity today, especially this one, which was a $131,000 trade, some pretty big volume. But yeah, it's just all oil trades today. It also acts as a natural hedge. So let me show you. We had Chevron. It's going up now 3% today. I got this close to the open today. And you can see for yourself, right? This is where we broke out over here when we got moved Maduro from Venezuela to New York City. We gave him a whole new residence. And since then, we've gone from 152 all the way up to 212. So this was pretty easy to play. During this time, half of the Navy was sent to Iran too, so it was really easy to play oil during that time. I made a ton of videos on oil stocks. This is what me and my group concentrated on during this time. But now you could see back down to that, support level where we had our breakout around 166. We bounced right off of that. This green right here represents unusual buying activity. That's why I have this on my chart. Because I don't know how you could, it's so much more helpful if you actually have the unusual buying or selling activity on the chart, right? Because other than that, you're just depending on the lines that you draw. So I need to have the unusual buying or unusual selling already on the chart. You could see we came right up, bought it today, came right up to the 50 moving average. But now let's find another support. So this might end up being a breakout all on its own. You could see it's making another triangle. But I'm playing this for until September. So let's do some of the math, right? I don't know if it's time to get memory stocks just yet. I would wait a little longer. You could always dabble at this level for sure. I know that's what you guys are more interested in, probably the memory stocks. DRAM, I have an alert almost that's about to go off at 56. Let's check Trader Daddy Pro for the levels of DRAM. Let's just take a quick look. Because it's always good to know exactly where the institutions have their positions. So 55 is that support level. You could see it here for yourself. Just a ton of interest here. So it's probably going to bounce right off of 55 before it goes any lower. So I would wait for DRAM. Oh, I didn't mean to exit out of it. I would wait for DRAM to come down to 55. That's where I have my alert. You need to have alerts because then you're just staring at your screen the whole day. So if it comes down to this level, about 55.5 for DRAM, I'll give it another try. Should be pretty inexpensive, those option contracts. Shouldn't cost too much money. Just want to take a quick look. How much would they cost? Well, August maybe we could do a DRAM 70 call. It's only $300. And if DRAM goes up maybe 10%, you would make $200 in profit. It's pretty good. It's not bad. That would be like 70% profit. It's not too bad. But let me show you, if you have Chevron has earnings next week, and having an oil stock acts as a natural hedge with the entire market. So, and you're buying it really low. And if it goes lower, you could always add on to it. But let's say you buy the September options like I did. I did the 220s, I think. I did the 220s. So if it goes up 15%, I have until September, I would make about 449% or 450%, or that would be $1,200 in profit off of $278. So one of them costs $278. If Chevron goes up 15% between now and September, I'll make somewhere between 1,000 and 1,300 of just pure profit. So that's not bad. It's not bad at all, actually. Um, anyone else have any other stocks that you guys want to see? Probably just going to keep looking back to Intel today. We're getting very close again. This is what I began talking about earlier. If we get to about 101, I'm going to take this trade because you can see it always ends up swinging back up. So I'm going to try to get this to come down here and then swing this back up at some point. Nancy Pelosi bought Intel at 130. It's at 102 right now. So this is a huge drop. I think a lot bigger than people might realize. This is going to be a 30% drop on Intel. So, if you think you missed Intel, now is your time to start looking at it because this is a great level to buy it at. We do this every week. It's so easy to just take the most trending stocks, buy an option on it, wait until it swings back up, and there you go. We did that with AMD the last few days. Last week, you could see AMD does the same thing. Stays between 500 and 560. You wait till it comes to 500, buy the option, it goes back up. So I'm just going to wait for AMD to come back down to at least 510. Create an alert so I get a notification on my phone. I don't sit here and look at charts all day. I don't actually know any profitable traders that sit there and look at charts all day. You want to put your trade in, and then, you have your alerts set, your profit entries set, your targets set, stop losses set. Because eventually, if you just sit there and look at your charts all day, then it becomes an issue. Let's take a look at Apple. Also, something else I'll never understand is the people that watch YouTube to learn to trade. Eventually, it just doesn't work because you're just delaying the process. You would learn 10 times faster if you actually just did a small money trade yourself. And you would just learn from the wins and losses and see what you could have done better. But I feel like people tell themselves they'll just keep learning on YouTube, and it's just, it hurts them way more than it helps. Because it's an over explanation of everything. Apple is interesting because we had about a 3 day swing of 5%, which is a lot for Apple. We got all the way to 323 today. Apple kind of reminds me of when we swung up over here after earnings. I don't know if you guys remember this, but we had this candle over here, right? We came down, but it broke this huge level of 278. See this huge level? We broke that over here. We came up to all the way up this high, came back down, and we swung up. Then we came all the way back down to it again and then swung up. We took this trade also down here. But now we broke this level up here and it swung up to 232 and now today came back down again. So let's take a look again at Trader Daddy Pro and we will see where Apple is. Well, Amazon just keeps getting more and more unusual buys today. That's interesting. But let's take a look. Ticker search Apple. And it'll give me the levels that I need over here so you guys can see it. All right. So 320 is our prime level. So right now it's about 316 or 317. We're right about 317.50 right now. We should swing up again to at least 320. And you'll see it over here. Yeah. So this is what I was showing you guys on Friday, was that, look, like we were going to, I put this in my Instagram story, all throughout the week too, that Apple was going to get to 320 because it was the next biggest bar of open interest right here. So of course it was going to gravitate towards it. If the market's going to kind of go up and flat last week, Apple usually floats to the next level. So, an Apple option can go up like 100 to 200% in a day, just going up 5 points. So this is pretty doable. If it gets through 320, 325's right here, that would be all-time highs. But 320 is a pretty big level for it. I think if we get below 317, even if it gets to 310, you could buy more or average down and play it back. So it's not too bad. So those are the ones I've been really looking at today. I'm going to give NVIDIA some more time. Let's just check the general markets. If you guys have any questions. Also, I have free webinars on Trader Daddy Pro and how to use it every Sunday at 5:30. I have once a month in-person groups in New York City that are free. I always thought there was two things that were true when I first started being on social media and making a trading group. I assumed everybody that had a trading group on social media, number one, I thought that they all had at least in-person things that their group could attend, and I guess I was wrong about that. The second thing was I all thought that they had worked in finance at some point, and that wasn't true either. So it does amaze me how many people though, like imagine you wanted to join like a workout class and then like your workout trainer had never worked in a gym before. Or like, you know what I mean? Like was never licensed, never, like just started working out maybe a year ago. Like it would be like nonsensical. But I don't know. People have a really low tolerance for the trading industry, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I have an in-person. Oh, there's always a different flavor of VIX. Yeah. So on Trader Daddy Pro, the VIX is always there. It's in the top right corner. So we are elevated today. This is the volatility index. You can always tell if the market's going down if this starts to go up. Although you need to look at it on the hourly for it to make any sense. And so if we get above like 18, that would be an issue. If we're capped at 1750 and then we start to go back down, this is how you can always tell if the stock market's going to go back up from being down. If the VIX gets to about 1750 or 18 and then we start to turn around and then it starts to drop, that means the stock market's about to go a lot higher. So that's one way to do it. But anytime the VIX is over 20, I try not to put any like big trades in. I size down. So there's no reason when the VIX is above 20 to put in any huge trades because you run the risk of something like this happening where you get stuck where the market's coming down like this. You get stuck in big trades like that. So as long as we keep looping back down, we should be fine. But yeah, I had that meme of like what of all the drinks that I made. It was named the drink name was called the Vicks, and it was like, what type of Vicks are you? Like an energy drink. Take a look at Tesla real quick. Tesla is also breaking out of formation today, coming down. So, but we're right at a very common level for it. So there is that. Let me just look at my watch list one more time. The only only trade I did today was Chevron, and I might do Intel if it goes lower. But yeah, the oil stocks are up today. Energy stocks. DVN is one of my favorite ones. I talk about this one a lot. This is pretty low. That's pretty good to play in the options market too, DVN as an energy stock. Oscar is trying to break out for like the 10th time. If Oscar breaks this at 32, we could see it go to 36 real quick because you could see it broke out of here. But why 36? Where did that come from? Well, if you go back in time, you're going to see the IPO of Oscar started around there. So usually we're going to break out to where that old IPO price was. ET is up another 2.5%. Energy Transfer breaking out again. This is a 7% dividend on this stock too. So if you're looking for a dividend stock, ET is pretty good. BKR. Let me just take a look at it. Oh, Microsoft's up 2% today. That's pretty good. This looks a lot stronger right now. Yeah. Walmart's looking pretty good. It has some runway into the low 400s. It's at 393 right now. Might be a good short-term call option going into this week. It's at a great level. We bounced off that 355 level, came above the 20 moving average, came back down to test it. Now, there's your stage 2 doji. Here's your tail candle expansion, stage 3. And then we could just keep expanding upwards for Microsoft. Let's look at the whole software industry. It's looking a little bit better. What about Palantir? Palantir's doing all right. Microsoft looks the best out of all of them right now. I know a lot of people ask me about Oracle. Oracle's not having it today. Wow. Oracle broke through today, broke down. You could see it's just a huge triangle for Oracle. And we're breaking out of it going down. But these levels here around 130, that's where these buying pressure levels are. So we'll see if it stays there or not. Yeah, a lot of stocks got run over today. But I cheer those on because then it becomes like really good buying levels like Intel. That's when I'm most confident when something goes down to a level that I've been waiting for a while. So IBM also looks pretty good, but nothing else looks great, you know? If you want to day trade something, you could day trade Apple back up to 320 again. Like, on a short-term basis, that would work. See, look, this is Apple. Just have this swing back up again. 320 is right here. So here's your first resistance around 1960 or so. And your support is below 315. So you could always do this. And that might not look like a lot to any of you, but on a short-term basis, end of the week on Friday, you could do a 320 call. It's $240. If we get up to about 320 again, you'll make $150 off of it. $130 in profit. If it goes, it doesn't even have to go up 1%. If Apple goes up 1%, you would make about $150. So that's not bad. It's not bad at all. ODFL looking good, I think. I don't know what that is. But yeah, that short-term Apple trade would work for sure. This is interesting. I don't know what this is. Oh, Old Dominion. Old Dominion changed their stock symbol then. No, when that happened. A lot of them changed recently. Victoria's Secret changed their stock ticker to VSXY. VSXY. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, Old Dominion is this is going to do well. This is a good one, actually. You always find pretty good ones. This is, you're seeing the ones that I like because this is also, here's your breakout down here. Here's your stage 1 breakout. Stage 2 doji candle, floating doji. Stage 3, another doji candle, and then this will continue upwards. So that's good. But yeah, if you guys have, oh, also Netflix, that has earnings this week too, and it is really low right now, super low. So we could see Netflix also possibly get some ignition from, I know that they're trying to partner now with local stations in local countries, so that you could watch things that are happening, like the news or sports or things like that. So not just their content. So I know that they're trying to get a lot more things to try to keep people using the platform or being on the platform more. And they are still building that $2 billion place in New Jersey, down the Jersey Shore. So we got a lot of executives from California that are coming over for that. But yeah, they don't cost that much, these Netflix options at all. So if the earnings goes up, those would explode. Wow, Exxon's up almost 4.5% today. That's crazy. You know, every time the top industry in January and February ends up being in the top 3 industries at the end of the year. And the top industry at the beginning of the year was, of course, the oil industry. You know, all the oil stocks ran up. So it doesn't surprise me that they're all going to be coming back, especially off of a 200 moving average like this. So now you're going to start to see a whole second wave come in. So looks like this, you know. So we'll see. But yeah, let's see, Cisco, probably going to be one of the last ones I look at. Yeah, we have a lot of buying pressure for Cisco. I look at this one a lot too. This is pretty good. You could see all of these buying pressures, and then down here, a lot of unusual buying on Cisco. So, nice little pullback to the 50. Wouldn't surprise me if this went higher. Let's look at Qualcomm too. I would wait for Qualcomm to hit like 175 and then bounce off of that. I don't want to get anything right away like that, but it is interesting that Amazon keeps getting unusual buys today. Meta is still upwards here. Earnings is coming out a couple of weeks from now. Earnings season's right around the door, so also all the banks are coming out tomorrow morning. I took a shot on Citigroup. Citigroup is a double flag situation going on, and they usually do well with their earnings. So you could see right here, I think this is going to pump through right over here. You know, just taking a shot on it. It looks pretty good. You know what I mean? Something like that. And then if this does well, all the banks are coming out tomorrow except for Morgan Stanley. So if this gets going, then we can get Morgan Stanley in for tomorrow as well. Um, but yeah, if you guys are interested in joining my premium group, it's only $80 a month instead of 99 for coming to these streams. I'm on Zoom in the morning. I trade with my group in the morning. I trade with them at night. I also have beginner groups in the middle of the day. I have office hours where I'm available one-on-one. I have beginner instructors that you could work one-on-one with. So I don't think there's any other group that gives the amount of one-on-one support that I do. I just don't think it exists. So, because it's just an all-day thing for me. To be on Zoom with them and then to help people on a one-on-one basis as well. So for $80 for a whole month, you don't really have a whole lot to lose in terms of, you know, of a big risk, you know. And the people that stay with me for a few months, they always end up having these crazy big trades because we just are really patient and waiting for them to happen. But I also don't want people to copy me. I want people to be independent on their own. So it's designed around that. I've been teaching trading since 2014. So I've been a financial advisor since 2012. So you know, eventually you start to, you know, figure out like the easiest ways to teach this to people. One last one. Rocket Lab is down at the 200 moving average. It's an interesting place for it. So this is pretty good down here. Yeah, I gotta get back to my group now. So help them end their day. If you guys have any questions, you can always reach out to me. All right. Have a great rest of your day, and then hopefully I'll see you guys this week. Take care. Bye-bye.